Three crucial skills to fast track your ability to make money with video. That's what we are talking about in today's live with me, Alex Carmelli, video strategist. I'm super excited to be here with you. Like I said, this is live. I'm going to give everybody 60 seconds to join and get started so they don't miss a moment. And then we're going to be right back and just dive right in. All right, so what is actually the determining things that are going to help you to make money with video? What are those skill sets that you actually, sorry for the echo, what are the skill sets that you actually need? And I think after the last 2 years working with 2K plus students, a lot of people think you need to just know how to use super fancy equipment, or you just need to know how to grow a really big audience, and then enough people will watch. Or maybe you need to like look the most fashionable or most like professional during, or maybe you just need a really good sales page and it will sell from there. But there's definitely some trends that I have seen over the last 3 to 4 years that, regardless of any type of changing social media algorithms, regardless of what new social platforms pop up, these kind of three skill sets that I'm going to talk about today have been just very, very consistent and will really make or break your ability to make money with video. So I'm excited today because we are going to talk about these three skill sets with like examples, and I'm going to go in depth as always teaching this stuff. But if you're here live, drop me a hashtag live in the comments. I'm recording this live Friday afternoon before the weekend, but drop me a hashtag live if you're watching this live. Drop me a hashtag replay if you are watching the replay so that I can say hey to you, and that we can get this party started. So let me know you're here and watching. And also let me know in the comments, have you monetized your videos at this point? You can just give me a yes or no. Have you made money from your videos? I'm just curious, and we'll jump in and get started. The other thing I'll talk about, and I'll wait to share this at the end too, is that the Ready, Set, Live toolkit, where basically I help to review your entire video strategy and give you like personalized feedback in the form of videos and one-to-one help. I'll talk more about this at the end. It's still available. We still have some spots left. You can find the link in the description of this video, but I'll talk about this at the end. But for now, we're going to jump in and talk through the first skill set that's super, super important when trying to make money with your video strategy. So that first skill set is basically treating your videos as a conversation. And that means that you are not just talking at your audience, meaning you're not just going in with the intent of teaching, but you're going in with the intent of like having a back and forth conversation and seeing your videos as this two-way street where people can communicate back with you, right? Like obviously they're not there live in front of you, but there are what I like to call these like little magic moments that you can create, little opportunities and pockets that you can create to start to build momentum and have conversations and essentially build relationships. And for those of you who feel like you need like all of this stuff to sell, like for example, like you need so many people to sell, when you treat video like this back and forth, I have had students who have audiences of like 100 or 150, like very small, like very little email list, super small Facebook group, like they start selling because they, they are building relationships and they're focusing on quality of the conversation versus just trying to get as many people in front of them as possible. And so I want to give some examples of what kind of these like magic moments can look like. And if you have others to add to this list, let me know. I'm sure I'm leaving stuff out. But how we sort of create magical moments of conversation with people. Number one is responding to literally all of the comments, even if you have like responded to them when you are live or and acknowledging them. One, it boosts your video, right? And it just continues to show people and it creates social proof on that video and more people want to kind of see it. So that's the first thing. Respond to those comments for that reason. And two, again, like it's just that way to continue the conversation. So your video just kind of keeps getting shown. Second, make sure you are verbally acknowledging people when you are live, if you can kind of see them. I know sometimes depending on the platform, it's harder to see them, but as much as possible, like if you can shout people out during, that's super, super important. Other things I've had, other really cool things that my students have done in terms of shouting people out, either viewers or students are doing well. They'll have a list of people that they'll want to kind of do a little shout out to beforehand. They'll make that list beforehand, and either like, viewers that are like participating a lot or students that they want to highlight during that week. And I think that's just like a really awesome way to start to, include people and treat your videos like a conversation and a community event and not just like you sharing and teaching, even though that's a big part of it too. Other things that seem obvious are like asking really specific questions aimed to start a conversation. So for example, literally a simple way to do this could be like, what's your biggest takeaway after watching this video? Like, I want to hear what helped you the most today. And then again, when people are commenting, that's your cue to go in there and comment back and create more conversations. We want to make sure that your engagement is always like stupid simple too. So when you're asking questions like what's your biggest takeaway is a great one, but you could also have really, really simple ones. Like you could have true or false questions, yes or no questions. Like at the beginning of this, I asked you, are you currently monetizing your videos? Yes or no. I'm not asking you to tell me your entire monetization strategy on this one comment section. Like I just want that yes or no. That's all I'm looking for here. So keeping things really simple for people so it's not overwhelming is helpful when starting that conversation, especially because, the more you start getting those comments, and again, the more people are willing to continue commenting and going from there. I see someone saying, good egg marketing, watching live. I like the suggestion to make your video a conversation. Amazing. Love that. Thanks for the comment. We're live on YouTube and on Facebook. So keep the comments coming. Let me know as we're going through what your takeaways are. So just like I'm saying, I want to be able to highlight your comments on this as well. Okay. Last thing that I really like to do to continue to like make this a conversation is sending thank you messages for participation. And I do this as much as I can now. Especially on Facebook, but I especially really, really did this at the beginning when I had like no one that would show up to my videos or only one or two people that would come or watch, is I would send a little thank you note, like a little voice note or a video, again, depending on what platform you're on, if you can do this. Basically just saying, hey, thanks so much for coming. I hope you learned so much. Feel free to send me what your takeaways were. I go live every single week at this day and time, and it was great to have you there. So I just wanted to send you a little appreciation message. Like, not you trying to sell or pitch or push anything on anyone. It's just like building that goodwill and building that relationship. And again, like when you build that goodwill, that person then is most likely going to come back and watch again or tell their friends or whatever. Like, even if they don't come back for that one, like you still have that goodwill that you're building and those habits that you're building that people eventually will start to pay off. And again, I love this because when you take this approach, you don't actually need a huge audience. Like I said at the beginning of this, so many of my students have a Facebook group of 100 or 150. And when they take this more relationship centered approach, things start to really change, which I think is awesome. This is one of the core, this conversation starting strategy as a whole is also one of three. I have like a trifecta that I teach for video engagement. This is one of the core things as well that I teach for video engagement. Because if you're doing these things, your comment section is going to start filling up. People are going to start feeling that goodwill. They're going to want to start inviting other people to watch your videos if they're good videos. And it's just going to leave people with this really, really good taste, right? So if this is all making sense to you so far, just give me a yes in the comments. You can feel free to put any questions that you have as well. And the last thing I just want to say too is there really is a balance between like teaching and also conversating. So again, the caveat is like, if you are constantly conversating the entire time and it's interrupting the flow of teaching and sort of getting in the way of that, this strategy isn't going to work super, super well. But if you're able to maintain this balance where you're teaching a really amazing concept and then, you know, you bring up someone's comment from there, and you just have this flow, things will start to work much, much better from there. I know I've been part of lives where people just kind of let the questions and comments derail the entire thing versus kind of having control over the flow of everything. Okay, cool. So that is number one. Your videos are a conversation. Let's talk about the next skill set. The next skill set is having this 10K skydiving view. And basically, don't come for me if people are skydiving higher or lower than 10K. Maybe there's a range, but the point is that, you know, I actually looked this up today. I was like, what is the height people skydive from? But that's another topic. The point is we want this skydiving view where basically you have this view of like everything. You can see the full picture. You're clear-headed. You've got this, you know, really like broad view of what is going on in your business, right? And I think so many times with video, really with anything, this skill set is for everything in your business, but we get so caught up in the details with creating video where we're so worried about writing the right titles and having good content. And is anyone going to show up? And do I have the right tech? And what am I going to wear? And does anybody care? And blah, 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 blah. Like all these other things, right? And realistically, like we get so caught up in this minutia that like the bigger picture and the real like strategy behind our videos performing well just kind of falls to the wayside. And what I mean by that is having such a clear customer journey, clear in your head, clear for the customer to follow on exactly how you are taking people from, okay, I just found your videos and now I'm going to try to get you to sold. What does that whole process look like? And I'm going to give just one example. And honestly, there are so many different ways and things like this could look very different depending on what your business looks like. But what I want you to take away from this is just essentially how clear each step is mapped out. So this is an example customer journey with video as the focus. So that's, you know, let's say you have a Facebook group, right? So you have new people coming into this Facebook group, okay? Once people come into the Facebook group, they get some kind of personalized message where you're asking about their goals and challenges, and your whole goal is to really learn about them and be able to then direct them to past videos that are going to be the most helpful. And this is where a lot of my students have a lot of success, not necessarily immediately, but down the line. So for example, I've had a student who she works in grief coaching, who basically was creating all these videos. She really didn't have an audience at first, and she was going live, and it just like not a lot of people were coming, not a lot of engagement was happening. But as people started to come into the group, she would talk to them, have these conversations, and then start pointing them to videos. So like 5-6 months, a year later, videos she was creating a long time ago started to perform, started to come back up in the news feed because she was having these conversations and pushing people toward them, right? So again, we have these new people coming in. We're sending personalized messages. We're directing them to the right videos based on what they said they are looking for help with, right? And this is, if you don't have those videos created yet, that's okay. They can just start coming to your weekly lives. But if you do, this is such a good opportunity. And potentially they're buying just from those right away. If not, again, that's okay. We're still going to continue on. And the next step is to invite them to maybe some sort of event. If you have a group or a business page, you can be inviting them. That way, you want to have a weekly email that is going out talking about the videos that you're posting or the lives that you're doing. From there, you want to have people attending those lives. From there, a clear call to action. This is where things are going to vary a lot. So maybe your clear call to action is visiting a sales page, or maybe it's that you want them to send you a DM asking for something, or maybe you want them to just go straight and book a call. So again, this is depending on where you're at with your business and kind of getting to sold from there. So let me know so far if this is making sense to you. You can drop me a yes in the comments. Let me know if you have questions. But we want to have that level of clarity where we know exactly what path people are following, right? And the reason this is so important is because when you have this mapped out, when you have this broad view of everything, it's easier to do a lot of things. It's number one, easier to assess your performance, right? So it's easier to assess, why your videos are or are not doing well. So many times I get people that come to me after recording like 2 or 3 videos and they're not consistent with the way they're recording and they have different calls to action. There's no clear strategy. And I'm like, there's really nothing to assess. Like, you don't have enough data. You haven't been consistent enough. There's not enough people who have watched. Like, you need to gather more information before I can tell you you're doing something right or wrong, right? So having that path allows you to do that, gives you that clear direction. And it also really gives you a lot of clarity too on like what topics to choose, what you need to be recording content on. Because, for example, if you know you want to sell some sort of toolkit, or you know you have a book that you're selling, or you know you have a course that you're selling, you can work backwards, right? You can say, okay, I know that I'm selling this mindset course. So I know that, one of the reasons people buy is because they feel like they're not going to have enough time. And so in your video, you can kind of bust that belief, and you can do a video focused on time and what goes into the process of an amazing mindset. And you know what I mean? You just have that clarity on what you should be doing there. Okay, awesome. So far we have talked about 2 skill sets. We've talked about number 1, treating your videos as a conversation and creating these magic moments. Number 2, we've talked about having this 10K skydiving view. And this last piece is growing within a proven framework. And I know that sounds like a weird skill set, but what I mean by that is having an understanding of, number 1, like basically the science of like what attracts and holds attention, having a framework that you're using to kind of like every single week plug in your content into this framework and just use it again and again and refine again and again. So for example, if you have ever seen my highly converting video script framework or templates, I have got the same things on it that if you are using them, if you're one of my students using them every single week, you don't reinvent the wheel. You use those things every single week. So we've got the hook, where basically you are introducing the video and incentivizing people to stay. The crazy not to say promise, where you are telling people exactly what they're going to learn and making sure they stay until the end. The authority builder, where you say a little bit about you. The first call to action, where you're sharing briefly about, kind of what the video is about. Then you have the teaching content, which is based on that crazy not to say promise. Whatever you promise people, you're going to go through and teach. And you have one more call to action at the end, right? And so using that kind of framework every week, understanding the science behind it, using it and growing within it. And I think so many people are so hesitant to like kind of commit or use something like that because they don't want to be seen as maybe like a copy of someone else. But honestly, almost everything grows within some sort of framework, right? And one thing I've been thinking about a lot, especially since I've had my baby, I just had a baby 2.5 months ago, is that what's amazing to me is when you're growing a human, like I'm thinking about we all have the same number of bones and we all have the same number of parts for the most part. Male, female, there's some differences, but we look vastly different, right? And it's that same framework. Or even plants, right? They need air and water and sunshine and soil, but like they all look so different. And it's the same concept for video. Is we need to understand like the science, what goes in, what's the recipe, what has to go into this formula. And then we need to be able to just grow. And you're not going to look the same as everyone else, right? You're going to put your own version and spin on it, but you can't, it's just not, it just doesn't make sense to try to reinvent the wheel every single week, right? So let me know if this is hitting home for you. And again, if you're someone who hasn't seen my highly converting script, I will send you what it looks like. Comment highly converting script. I'll send you a copy of what it is, so you can see what that template looks like. If you're on YouTube, just shoot me an email, alex@alexandracarmelli.com. But if you're on Facebook, just comment and I will be able to message it to you. Yeah, so these are the kind of the big three. And this last one as well, I think, is just huge with saving time, right? If you're constantly like overwhelmed by the minutia and the details of everything, like you are never actually going to go live. You're never going to get those videos done. And so this is just so important. And like I said, over the last 3 to 4 years, like these things really don't change that much. Like this stuff has been consistent. Like again, regardless of what social platform you're on, regardless of like new platforms that pop up, like this is like the stuff that really matters and the stuff that you want to master. All right. Well, let me know if you guys have any questions. That is the main meat of today. I'm going to talk about the Ready, Set, Live toolkit, because if you want to be able to master live video, I want to share this with you because I've pretty much created this, and I don't have a lot of things like this. I really like created this from scratch with the busy entrepreneur in mind. And basically what I have done is I have handpicked 8 of my best videos to just fast track this for you and teach you these 3 skill sets, teaching you how to create a conversation, teaching you how to build a path to Cather's video, teaching you how to do all your scripts and titles and grow within this proven framework. So if you go to the description of this video, you will see the link for this. It's unscriptedmoment.com/readysetlive. But basically I'm teaching, again, how to build a personalized roadmap to reliably convert your audience, how to write simple but engaging scripts in 20 minutes or less. I give you all the templates too, how to craft awesome live titles that stop the scroll. I even give some like real-time scripting workshop examples that I've recorded live for my paid clients that I thought you guys would really benefit from. I've got my trifecta on creating awesome video engagement. And then lastly, basically how to assess your performance. And of course, like all the templates that you need to create your videos and write stuff, I've got to go along with this. So I just think this is going to make your life so much easier. The core, like in total, I think maybe it's like 6 to 8 hours of content total, but it's very condensed, exactly what you need to just stay on track and master this, and you can work as you go. And my favorite part about this is just like you can choose your path and how much support you want. So you could just buy video access for $27 and like do it yourself. Or what you could do is buy video access and also get a personalized review from me where you'll go through the course and you will basically fill out the scripts that I've got or record the videos based off of the templates I've got. And you can submit those videos or scripts to me, and I will record a full review of all 3 of those scripts or videos so you can get that personalized feedback. You'll also get, obviously, the lifetime access to these videos. And then lastly is the VIP version of this, where you'll get all the videos. You can get that personalized video review, but I'll also do a 1 hour, just like one-to-one Zoom call where we can review your strategy even more. Yeah. Last thing I'll say too is, and I didn't mention this, but every single one of these also, you get a month free in my Video Skills Lab membership, where we're doing monthly coaching calls. There's a library of content, all that good stuff too. All right. So that's it. This sale for this. I'm only able to sell so many at a time because of how high the level of support is. So only until probably likely tomorrow, the sale is going to actually be running. If you're watching this replay much later than that, you can still go to the page. If all the links are working and you can buy, like, it's good to go. But if I turn them off temporarily, I'm not going to be selling. I'll probably put a little wait list note on there. But you can check to see if you're watching the replay and this is later than September 20th. Cool. All right. Well, that is it for today. I hope you guys really, really enjoyed this video. If you watch live, you can comment #live. If you watch the replay, you can comment #replay. As always, if there's anyone you think could benefit from this video, feel free to share it with them. Help me help more people to get on video with ease and confidence. And I will see y'all next week.